Hey yo, how's it going everyone? Entropy here today with another video. It's time for the G era's second set, Soaring Ascent of Gale and Blossom, and this set brings a lot of new clans into the mix. As usual, this video will follow our three-part structure, starting with a brief overview of the events, then highlighting some key units, and lastly, finishing up with some hindsight in the competitive scene. So, let's get started. Starting with the calendar, G set 2 was November for JP. Before I proceed, here's my obligatory statement that this video is mostly an informed or educated guess based on the JP experience. I cannot confirm that the contents in this video will be 100% the same for global, but this is my best guess, and it's close enough for most of the time. So with all that said, there's a lot to cover, so let's get straight to it. Starting with the G set 2 banner, there's nothing too special about the set. It will follow the similar G set gacha system from G set 1, so if you're not too familiar with it yet, and this is the first set for you, please go check out my last video where I kind of explain how it works. But other than that, it includes Neo Nectars, it includes Aqua Force, and it includes Bermuda Triangle. Starting off the new month, JP gets 20 packs. I know global usually gets 15, but you never know, but that's just how it is. As we are introducing the new clan support, we have the respective fight skins and character fights as well for Togaha, for Neo Nectars, Jaime for Aqua Force, and Saya for Bermuda Triangle. One thing to note is that Saya's story will not be readable until the main story reaches that part, so save up those keys, but if you're desperate for those gems, then invest in the Togaha and Jaime ones to start off your month. In addition, we also have OTT represented this month, as well as Narukami. So those character skins and character fights will come when the event comes out, and we will cover them in a bit. Next up, we also have the V coupon shop, Return of Ganslot Zenith and Trumpeter for Gold Paladins. Definitely pick these up if you haven't already, especially Zenith. I think Zenith is still great, helps you superior call out a retire unit. And that Trumpeter is also really good, helping you get a free superior call by shuffling a key piece back to the deck. Let's talk about clan events. So on the 4th to the 12th, so very beginning of the month, JP had the Oracle Think Tank event. One thing to note is that there has been a reduction on the drops, but there has been new daily missions. So 6 event fights for 600 event currencies and 10 event fights for 3000 event currencies, and this will be the norm moving forward. The boost skins for this event are as follows: Kamui, Saya, Togaha, and Jaime from the G era, of course. And one thing to note is that because of the dailies, it kind of conflicts with having maybe just one boost skin, right? So which one is more valuable? This is something that you definitely need to consider. If you finish the dailies, you get 3600 event currency, but the boost skins do give you 50% bonus, so 150% of your expected drops. So definitely depends on the timing of when of the fights you're getting into, like the Black Vanguard or the boss fight. But yeah, it basically incentivizes you to get all the boost skins, which is really improbable. It's like literally impossible for free-to-play players, so manage your resources wisely. Next, we have the same thing for Narukami, but it comes right after the OTT one. Again, it lasts for 8 days, so that's something to consider. The boost skins are Jaime, Kamui, Tsuneto, and Mamoru. So definitely pick those up and consider which skins to pick up, especially if you're a free-to-play player. So between the two, the one that overlaps the most is Kamui, and so that is something to consider. We don't know about the next few clan events, but these are the two for this month. Will be covered by Kamui. We also have the Dice event, Full-Powered Sure Win, Burning Hearts Are Together. This seasonal Dice event will be held, or was held, on the 20th to the 28th, again 8 days. This event will be still quite similar to the OG Dice events, but definitely do check out my Dice event overview for some references, because there are some new gimmicks. Again, similar to the clan events, there are competitive aspects to the Dice events nowadays. So there are rankings based on top 1000 and all that. You'll get banners, these little posters for your My Room. You can exchange for these mannequins as well. And you also, of course, have these skins. So this is the Chrono skin for Gear Chronicle. You have the Shion skin for Royal Paladins, and Toka skin for Neo Nectars. Now, one thing to note is that So far, these skins have not boosted your drops from the clan events, so just treat them as aesthetics. In that case, free-to-play players, definitely focus your G medals on the skins that boost the clan events you want. That is my recommendation. Next, let's talk about the seasonal rank rewards. So, Season 46, the first half of the month, we have Asha. It includes sleeves for Asha and Loris as well. And for the second half of the month, we have Thavas. Thavas for Aqua Force, as well as sleeves for Thavas and Lambros. So, very Aqua Force heavy month. One more thing is that there are choice restrictions implemented in the middle of this month. Now, what is a choice restriction? A choice restriction means the restriction to include both cards in the same deck. For example, Grom cannot be played in the same deck as the End. You can play a deck with Grom, or you can play a deck with the End, but you cannot play a deck with both. Now, one thing for Zero is that Grom can still be put in the same deck, but it will be a vanilla 5k. So that's something that if you think you played the system played you. There are also some skill changes, so let's go over them. So first of all, we have Draconic Overlord the Cross. Now requires discarding a card from your hand in order to activate the Legion ability to add a card of the same name as your Vanguard from your deck to your hand. And in addition, Grom has that choice restriction. Big Bang Knuckle Buster now loses the draw 1 from the skill, and Rising Phoenix is now choice restricted with Big Bang Knuckle Dragon. And lastly, Dual Clear Parasol Kura, which is the Soul Blast 2 Counter Charge 2, is now choice restricted with Dual Lovely Angel Nemuo. So this effect only affects rank fight. So I believe training fight and friend fights are not affected, but don't quote me on that one. But basically, if you're playing rank fight, which is the most, I think that's the only thing you really should be playing, then that is something that will definitely affect you. In terms of the competitions for the Cross and Big Bang Knuckle Buster, here is how it works. When obtaining a 5th copy or more between the nerf and the end of the month, it will give you the materials needed for 1 Kagero triple rare or a Narukami triple rare. SPs will give double, and you can also exchange any pre-existing copies as well for the same rates. So definitely do that and then get some universal clan mats. Yeah. Next up, let's talk about key cards to look out for. Here we pick out a few units per clan with a focus on some of the key grade 3 and some support unit. I'll be bringing up the event clans from now on too, so only 3 cards from each, 3 supporting cards from each clan, just to make it easier for me and to keep it simple for you as well. So first off, I definitely think that Aqua Force is the winner of the set. Thavas is really amazing, helping you give that, well, retire as well, even though it's a little bit random. But the key card is Lambros, which is actually a GR. When it attacks, it's GB2 if it's the 4th battle or more, G Persona Blast, and stand 2 of your rearguards and they get plus 5k. Helps you scale up, helps you apply pressure, especially when your opponent's at 4 or 5, which is really easy for Aqua Force with all the multi-attacking and shenanigans. It is really devastating. You have High Tide Sniper that synergizes well with that multi-attack strat, because at GB1, when it attacks, if it's the 3rd battle or more, you can Soul Blast 1 to get plus 5k. And Tactics Sailor, which is a grade 1. Rearguard Circle, when this boosts a unit and hits a Vanguard, if it's the 4th battle or more, you get to draw a card. So all these cards, again, center around being able to multi-attack and apply pressure. Tactics lets you draw into your pieces. Sniper helps you scale up. Lambros helps you enable those multi-attacks. And Thavas will occasionally help you retire, as well as have a guard restrict when you're going for a game. Next up, we have Bermuda Triangle. Now, Bermuda Triangle, Loris is a really solid unit. We have a new keyword, Harmony, which says when it's placed in this, when another unit is placed in the same column as this unit, both units become in harmony until the end of the turn, which lets you proc some skills. So, for example, its own GB2 skill, which gives it power and crit. And when you stride, you get to return something and draw a card, which then lets you play more on play skills. Support like Olivia, which is actually GR, lets you return cards to your hand and then get a crit, which is amazing. Amelia looks like Amelia from ReZero, honestly. Maybe it's just the white hair. But when this is returned to your hand, Cameras want to draw a card and resist, which is really good. And Spica is quite spicy and helps you enable those multi-attacks. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, GB1, if it's boosted, +1, return 1, and call something out and give it +3k. So that's really nice. Next, we actually have Narukami, which I did a deck profile on. It's not the best because I just started a JP from G-Set 1, but it is still a great place to start, I believe. Really nice deck. Vanquisher helps you bind. GB2 as well gives it crit pressure when you can get some retires off. One thing to note is that it's Vanguard Circle. When you G unit strides, you choose a rear guard, front row rear guard, retire it, and bind it. So even if they do have, you know, pseudo resist, like the this card cannot be retired, you target it, it blocks the retire, but it cannot block the bind. So that is quite spicy. In addition, you have the GR Conquest Dragon, which helps you G Persona Flip, and GB2. You retire one of your opponent's front row, and all your front row gets +5k. So that really helpful. You have Jatura, which even though it cannot attack a rear guard, it becomes an 11k beater on the rear guard circle, and GB1 when it hits, +1, draw a card and bind something. And Voltage Horn, you know, the boosted GB1, when this attacks a Vanguard, if it's boosted, +1, bind something from random, I'll retire it and then bind 2 cards from your opponent's drop zone. So it's really strong. Being able to retire and bind counteracts a lot of the Legion decks that are still prevalent in the metagame, and Chatura gives you that 1 draw. Really nice 11k beater as well. And with striding the GR onto the Vanquisher helps you clear up those front rows and go for game. Second last, we have Asha for Neo Nectars. Honestly, you know, Neo Nectars I think is quite simple right now, simply because of the mechanics of 0, but you still can't count them out, and they can still perform really well. Asha lets you duplicate, do Neo Nectar stuff. Jingle Flower Dragon is quite interesting. GB2 G Persona flipped, and you can choose one of your rearguards the following ability. All your rearguard units get +2k for each of the units with the same name as this unit until the end of the turn, right? Until the end of the next turn. So even on your opponent's offensive turn, those units still get the +2 per copy of the same name. So you could be very well set up for the defensive turn. Maiden of Gladiolus. Rearguard Circle GB1, when this unit attacks a Vanguard, if it's boosted, +1 to call a card with the same name as your other rearguard from your deck, enable it multi-attacks. And Wheelwind Dragon, very cute card. Rearguard Circle GB1, when this hits a Vanguard, countercharge 2, which is very, very nice because some of your cards do require quite a bit of counterblast. And lastly, we have Susanoo from Oracle Think Tank. So Susanoo, you know, it's a simple card, you know, being able to get +5k and a crit if you have 2 or more cards on GB2, and when you stride, you check top 2, add a card to your hand, and put the rest to the bottom of the deck. So being able to do what OTT does very efficiently. Take Mikazuchi is the GR. GB2 once per turn, +2 and Persona Blast. Check top 4, add 2 cards to your hand and put the rest to the bottom of the deck. Helps you +2 basically, which is great. Diviner Kuro Ikazuchi. Rearguard Circle GB1, when this unit attacks a Vanguard, if it's boosted, +1, draw 1. So CB1, draw 1 is great. And Tankman Mode Morningstar, which is a badass name for a badass card. Rearguard Circle GB1 once per turn, return a card without triggers from your hand to your deck to soul charge 1 and counter charge 1. Helps you free up those resources to then do more shenanigans. So that's basically it. Lastly, let's talk about some tournament results and see how the units from this set performs. So there aren't a lot of stuff I can find, but from the Zero Championship 2021 Autumn the qualifiers, I believe, the winner did use Kagero and Bermuda Triangle. So Kagero was from G-Set 1 and Bermuda is from this set. But overall popularity-wise, Narukami comes out at top, and then we have Bermuda and Aqua Force as well, right behind. You know, we don't see as much OTT, and we don't see as much Neo Nectar. I do think those are less competitive, but let's look at some representations from the actual Autumn Fest. So first place did bring Aqua Force and Bermuda Triangle. We did showcase this player as well because they did get first place in the last video. But Aqua Force is very Thavas focused. But Bermuda Triangle, you know, you do have the new stride support, of course. You have the new resist units, you have the new multi-attack options. But it is mainly still the Legion focused build. So, you know, if you still have Nemule and all that, it's still very strong. And don't give up on those yet. And we also have another top 8 players list. We also have Aqua Force, Bermuda Triangle, and Neo Nectar. I really want to showcase this because the thing about these new sets is that it really pushes you to play, you know, the clans from the same set, right? So, you know, this set definitely makes its mark. You know, Aqua Force again, Savas with Lambros, bro, it's just good. Bermuda Triangle, again, still more Legion focused build, but we will showcase one Loris one focus later. And with Neo Nectars, you know, even though I don't really, well, it doesn't really mesh well with me, it definitely does have potential and can bring up those like really big wally defensive plays, which might not be great against like most of the meta, like Gears, Kagero, Narukami maybe, but it's definitely solid against something like Aqua Force maybe. We also have a top 8 player, OG's Alan. So we have Aqua Force, Kagero, and Narukami. So do want to showcase Narukami being able to show up here with Vanquisher. You have the Draconic Vermilion stuff as well. And of course, Aqua Force is a Savas focus build. And lastly, we have another top 16 player with OTT, actually with Susanoo, and only 2 GRs, and playing the vanilla strides, so that is quite spicy. Of course, you still want your Toms, even though it's not as good right now, but definitely very nice, and you can pick those up in the tournament coupon shop as well. So what I want to show with these results is, at the end of the day, you know, there are obviously some decks that are more viable than others. Like the Cross is still really strong, but this set does make a splash. You know, the Megalantia clans like Aqua Force and Bermuda definitely up there, and the other 3, they are quite impressionable as well, and can definitely do well, and well enough to qualify for a big tournament. That's how I will leave it. So that's basically it. Again, while I try to reflect everything that went on in JP, the global experience probably will not be one-to-one to the JP experience. Something to note is that I've taken some liberties to omit some information, such as the 3rd Overdress crossover campaign, which makes sense, but you never know. Thank you so much to Kamui, Nova Grappler, for supporting the channel by being a member. You can support the channel by being a member as well. And if you enjoyed the video, like it, definitely, and subscribe if you haven't already and want to see more. So yeah, let me know down below which clan you're most hyped for this set, and I will definitely be looking forward to cracking some packs when it comes out. I will be very focused on building Narukami, because I wasn't being able to build the full build for it on JP, and I can't wait to test it out because it is quite fun. So yeah, let me know down below again which clan you're looking forward to the most, and I will see you all soon. Bye.